Hey guys, welcome back to Bits Be Trippin'. This is your host Carter. Let's get into this. Now, this is a video I've recorded a few times now and done some editing on, and I've treated it a lot like most of my tutorial videos to where I do a voiceover and then I show you different pictures or video of a device, a piece of equipment, that sort of thing. And after going through post and edit on that a few times and trying to get this one right, because I wanted to make sure the essence, if I was going to do a hardware wallet, I wanted to make sure that people not only understood the functionality of it and how and why, but with my own interactions out in the space, people asking me like, hey, what's up with these hardware wallets? How do they actually work? Do I have to use a computer? That kind of stuff. I felt that just doing a tutorial video where I do a voiceover and then I show you some of the B-roll of, the device or that wasn't getting the message across. So what I'm doing right now is something I haven't done normally in one of my videos, where I actually go through kind of a use case of how it functions, why I would use a hardware wallet in this fashion, and make sure that it's projecting enough information. And then of course we'll put some B-roll towards the end and then some basics about this hardware wallet. And hopefully that gets kind of the basic message across from just a functionality. If you're using this device, like how does it function? How does it work? When would I use it? Why do I care? That sort of thing. If you're into cryptocurrency and you're trying to understand on how and why you would use a hardware wallet. So let's get into this. Now, first, let's get into what a hardware wallet is. So if you download a cryptocurrency wallet on your phone, and then you go out to an exchange or you go to a third party and you buy cryptocurrency and you move it to your local, let's say, phone wallet, right? So why would you want a hardware wallet? What's the point of it? Why, when you have a cell phone and you have, thumbprint validation, facial recognition, some of the biometric stuff's coming along, why would you want a hardware wallet to create another step in the process? Why would you want to do that? Well, as with anybody that's holding their cryptocurrency keys, and if you're going to be using your wallet in a hot fashion, meaning it is loaded on a device that is connected to the net, and that when you're using to purchase things, if you're sending and receiving money on a regular basis, you're going to want to have a hot wallet. You're going to want to where you're not having to go to a paper wallet, pull it out, set it up into your phone, and go through that process, taking it from paper to the physical device. You're going to want some cryptocurrency that you can interact with. I mean, otherwise, what's the point of cryptocurrency? You got to be able to use it. You got to be able to not just hodl. There is a use case for usability when you start to purchase things and stuff. If you're going to host a hot wallet, essentially on your cell phone or a computer or another device, what a hardware wallet does is it allows that if for whatever reason your phone is compromised, somebody gets a hold of it, so it's opened up, it's unlocked, somebody spoofs it and then downloads your cloud file and then gets your wallet, goes through your two-factor authentication because they get access to your email, all of these various things that can happen from a security standpoint. What this allows you to do is have one more step in that process for a guarantee that nobody's going to come in there and just take your stuff, right? That's what a hardware wallet does for you. Traditional hardware wallets like Trezors or Ledger X's require you to plug those into a computer, and you are digitally signing. You are sending your money from your crypto over to a device or paying point of sale. Then if you had a Ledger X and that was controlling your situation, you would end up having to plug that in and sign that transaction, accept it, and then it would go through. What the Ellipal wallet does, and this is why I really like the idea of this wallet. I think over time the features and functions hopefully will get a little smaller. I mean, this is like carrying a whole other cell phone with you. But what this does is when you go to send using the Ellipal wallet on your phone and you go to make that transaction, you digitally sign it with this device. So essentially you make the transaction point of sale, you make the transaction to whoever you're sending it to, and then this is like another key. That's the essential point, and it's air gapped. That's the other point with it, where this never gets plugged into anything. Computer, the only thing this thing gets plugged into is when it's charging, and you plug it into a charge port, traditional micro USB to charge the device itself. Screen driven, it's very easy to see. It's got, it supports both Bitcoin and Ethereum. being able to have that air gapped. And what I mean by air gap is the fact that when you go to make your transaction with the Ellipal wallet using your cryptocurrency, then you are just scanning essentially the acceptance code on this device. And then that facilitates the transaction. That says, hey, yes, that's the next key in the process. And then that allows for somebody got a hold of your phone or hacked your computer that they need this device to get and sign it, right? So that's a pretty cool feature. I like the fact that I don't have to plug it into anything. I like the fact that I can walk around with it in the pocket. Again, it is like carrying two cell phones. If you're going to be using a lot, that's one of those things to where, oh man, I left my my Ellipal device. So carrying two, I think this is the start. It's like any form factor. I think this starts like this, and the eventuality is something like this probably ends up the size of a credit card, probably in the future, right? But right now, it is a full-on device that you pair it with the cameras, so it's all QR code driven. When you're going to update, if you change any information here, because this does have a keyboard and you can name accounts and stuff, you sync it still through QR codes. Everything is driven through just scanning a QR code, and explained it and had some good videos on explaining the differences between hardware wallets right now. I think this is definitely a contender in the hardware wallet space right now. The only thing I would say is they're not really that known. I would like to see a security audit of this device. With it being air gapped, it does have some advantages, obviously, because it's not being plugged in. To update this device, you have to actually disassemble it. You have to pull this back plate off. There's a micro SD card in there, but I think keeping it completely air gapped from its inception is kind of the way to go with it. Okay, as we can see here, when you actually go to click on one of the accounts that you have set up, let's say if you had Bitcoin or Ethereum set up in here, when you click on that, it's going to come up with four options. It's going to come up with a connect to app, a receive, a synchronize, and a sign. So essentially the connect to app is when you first download the Ellipal app on your phone, be it Android or Apple. And essentially it pairs it with the QR code, and you'll set up a password that allows you on the Ellipal device access to the other features such as signing. So it's just not a matter that somebody can grab this device and then, then they're good as long as they have your wallet in this device. There's also another factor of authentication, which is a password on the device and of course on the cell phone too. So again, folks, I hope that you enjoyed this one. I wanted to try to make it a quick one. Obviously, we had some of the advanced features showing you what this looks like. They have some really good videos on the tutorials and setting up and configuring that, and I'm going to link those below on essentially how, if you were to purchase one of these, how you actually go through the activities. That's not the point of this video. They actually have done a really good job on explaining the functionality, such as a tutorial. What I wanted to tell you is go through kind of just my own use case with it, of having, using Bitcoin and Ethereum on a regular basis. This gives you that extra level of security, and I like the fact that I don't have to plug it into a computer. So that's, I would say, my main functional points, and wanted to ensure that you guys understood that. Again, Ellipal did send this to me. This was not a paid promotion, but it was a free device essentially to review and take a look at. The pros on it is not connected. I think the cons on it is it's like another cell phone, right? Like I got to carry this device. I think this matching with like maybe that new BlackBerry phone that's about this size, that'd be an interesting combo. It's just another device you got to carry, but then again, you got to carry the Ledger X and a computer. So it all comes down to what your style of using cryptocurrency comes down to. You could also keep this as a cold wallet and then just use this device when you're wanting to access that cold wallet and have it locked up in a safe or somewhere that you have secure, that only you know about. And then this gives you that extra level of security of a hardware wallet. So obviously a shameless plug for a link below for a referral link if you are going to pick up this device. Again, there's several reviews out there now of this. I would never go with just one review. Take a look at them all before you make a buying decision ever on anything. You should do that for everything, right? So thanks, Ellipal, for sending it. I'm going to continue to use it, and I will do an update. We could probably postmark this one a year and see how the screen holds up, that sort of thing, to say, hey, here's a year after it. How did it handle? Because that's the other, my other concern is, how long will this screen last? In any kind of hardware development, it all comes down to cost, and it does not look like they went cheap on the cost on it. It is actually a pretty decent screen quality, that you can't really see any kind of pixels. It does look like a higher resolution screen. And then again, the battery has been very good. I mean, it lasts almost 10 days where I didn't charge it. So let us know what you think. If you guys have one, I would love to see any comments below. If any of you have purchased this, and your comments, I think that needs to be open. And if we see any kind of issues with it, obviously I do YouTube and Twitch videos on the regular, and I will obviously mention it if we have any other issues. Thanks for this one. Hopefully you like this style versus the normal tutorial videos to where I actually kind of walk you guys through it and talk through it versus just the voiceover. Let me know, and you guys hang out, and we'll see you guys on the next one.